He died 300 years ago this year. We're still talking about Edward Colston. 10,000 people marched through Bristol for the historic and systematic killing of innocent black people. But now it's all about Edward Colston. These crimes still going on, but we're not addressing it. This is the biggest distraction going. And then my son phoned me to say, Dad, they've got ropes around Colston statue. And I went, really? He goes, yeah, they're trying to put it down. I said, that's not gonna happen, son. You know, that's fixed. The next thing he just said, Dad, the statue's come down. And I just leaped. I couldn't believe it. It was like, seriously. And it was just, wow. It was that moment. It was like, well, look what the people have done that the city couldn't do. And the moment that fell, the protective bubble over Bristol was broken. The control of the city, of the institutions, the merchants, and people who do favours around them, it was gone. The whole world could hear for the first time ever. And ever since then, Bristol's been under a microscope, and it's amazing.
Colston, as we know him today, is a Victorian invention. So, you know, kind of 150 years after his death, he's chosen to become this sort of city father figure that's meant to represent the kind of merchant prince and the moral saint. And really they did fix it in the population's mind. And that fixing was very much around the idea of the philanthropist who gave to the city. The fact that that philanthropy wasn't for everybody in Bristol. All of these things were, you know, sort of swept under the carpet. What I do think is that we have to separate emotional connections to buildings and places like the Colston Hall away from the institutions that actually have a financial and historical interest in protecting the Colston legacy.
I mean, so many people believe that he was Bristol's most virtuous son. So you can't blame them if they're offended when it gets pulled down, because that's what it says there and that's what you've been taught. But now it's about adding to that and letting people know the real history so that we can move forward to a better future.
I think there's been some changes in Bristol as a result of this. I think generally people seem to be much more aware of kind of Bristol's history, and this was stuff which shouldn't have gone on for so long. He should have been removed ages ago. But I still think there's loads more needs to be done. I think it was the start of conversations for many people.
What do I feature honestly happened to the plinth? Remove it completely, put a bike rack there, have something there that's useful for everybody to use. This right now is an ultimate distraction from real fundamental issues that the city still doesn't want to address, which is resulting in mental health, loss of life, and just real deprivation.
We have to remember that it's actually ordinary Bristolians, child labourers in factories, sailors often pressed onto ships, people in the plantations, whether enslaved Africans or indentured labourers, who actually created this wealth. So Bristol wasn't built by people like Edward Colston, or Bristol was built by people who worked. The most important thing is you might pull him off that statue, good, but we need to find all the Bristolians that never got on statues who did brilliant things. The cult of Colston had obscured so many great Bristolians. So many great Bristolians have not been recognised. So my challenge to the city is to say, right, who do we want to memorialise now? That is a job for Bristolians to sort out.